All right. Can I get a roll call, please?
Trustee Lee,
Here.
Trustee Cho,
Here.
Vice President Walker,
Here.
President Gallegos.
Here. All right. Unless there are any changes, the floor is open for motion to approve the agenda as is.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. I'd like to call for a motion to approve the board meeting minutes as of September 2nd, 2025.
So moved.
I think the other two of us weren't here. It would be uncomfortable for us to second and then to vote as well.
Okay, I second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. There's nothing to report out of closed session. And moving on to item number 11, Ms. Tony Presta for the installation of our student trustees.
Thank you, President Gallegos. I am thrilled to install the trustees for the 25-26 school year. We've had 2 student advisory meetings so far this year, so we're just getting started. And I would say half of the students are returning and half are new, give or take. And we've got I'm excited for the year. There's great energy. We have bright, interested young people who want to make positive changes in our school district and who are here to really represent the views of the students in our schools. So I'm super excited to have the honor to swear you in. And with that, and after they do the oath, we are going to adjourn for some snacks, to have a little bit of a party for them. So I'm going to ask that the student trustees, I see some walking in right now, so we're going to stall for a second. We're never this quick. We have you installed right at the beginning of the meeting. Come on in. Come on in. Okay, so in just a moment, I'm going to ask that you stand. We also have it up here so that you don't have to just listen to me. You can also visually see it. So please stand. Put your hand on your heart and repeat after me, please. I state your name. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California. That I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. Congratulations. You are sworn in. There were a few students who weren't able to be here tonight, so they'll be sworn in at a later date. Congratulations. And would you like to adjourn?
Yeah, real quick before we do adjourn, I just want to give the
thank you, yes.
board a second to make
You guys
comment
please.
if they'd like, just real quick before you guys get to having fun.
Well, congratulations, trustees.
you.
Welcome aboard. Looking forward to the work that you will be doing this year, and to those of you who are returning, thank you for your continuing service, and for the new trustees, you're in for an exciting year and a great year of learning from your colleagues and your fellow classmates, as well as an opportunity to be able to learn from the board members and Superintendent Presta as well. So congratulations.
Congratulations. Welcome to the team. I'm looking forward to working with y'all. And know that, you are an extension of this in the school district. I know our superintendent is amazing and always keeping up with everything that's going on, but you guys are our eyes and ears on the ground as well. And so for us as well. So bring us information, bring us things that we need to know about to make you feel like this, you're excited to be here and want to succeed here. So looking forward to working with y'all. Welcome.
Thank you all for taking this step. It was really nice to meet many of you yesterday, the first student advisory meeting. I plan to be at more, and maybe I'll regret it later, but I challenge you now to go ahead and get in that good trouble.
I've only been here 3 years doing this on the board. This is like my second time doing the student advisory. And I just want to say that, first of all, congratulations, but I'm really proud of all you guys for, taking the initiative to represent, your fellow students, and you're also representing your schools and your communities. So that's a big thing. And watching you guys work has been really fun. It's been, it's been eye-opening to see how seriously you guys take this, and how meaningful it is to you guys and how important it is. And I just, for the parents that are here with their children tonight, or the ones that are watching and listening, you guys have some really good kids, and they're setting good examples for their, constituents, and you guys just keep up the good work. I'm proud of you guys. Congratulations.
Thank you. I already said a lot, but I think that I say this repeatedly.
Here we go.
This is literally my favorite part of my job, that I get to meet with you guys every other week, because it is you're why we're here, and your energy, buoys me. Is that the right word? Buoys? I don't know. Lifts me up. And so I'm just really looking forward to the year with you. Super proud of you already. Okay.
And with that, we will adjourn for our trustee reception.
All right. And I think that Miss Shreve would like to take a picture. We have a little photo area now that she put up.
Oh, cool.
So probably before they start eating cake, you want them to take a picture? Okay. All right. Thank you.
Moving on to communications, starting with our board report. If anybody would like to report out.
I don't really have much this evening, so we'll just keep moving on.
Nothing for me.
Nothing from Marty.
I missed the last meeting, but I will report. Before that, I went to back to school nights at Jefferson, Terra Nova, and Westmore. And I was happy to see all the energy. I guess I've only been to a couple of those schools, one of those schools before. So it was nice to see all the energy, nice to see people back in the swing of school. It was certainly a great thing to see the parents. I saw some really good moments between parents and teachers, and that was really great. So thank you.
Thank you. I actually don't have a whole lot to report out on either, so I will move it on over to our superintendent report.
Thank you. I wanted to talk briefly about the fact that Thornton's family community celebration was last week, and I went, and they're always very nice, but this one was particularly great. They sort of changed the way they did it. They made it a little more community focused, and they unveiled their new mural that they did with Precita Eyes. So the muralist from Precita Eyes was there. In fact, two of our student trustees spoke. Two of our student trustees from last year spoke, Danny and Kiko, and it was wonderful. It's a wonderful mural. I encourage you to go by and check it out if you haven't seen it yet. So that was really great. Super proud of Thornton. And I guess the only other thing that I want to say, well, actually I have two things. I was in Westmore and our adult ed classrooms on Monday, and just really, every room that I went in, I was really proud of. And so it's just a wonderful thing to be able to come here and say that to you. Every classroom that I went into, I saw wonderful things happening. And that's just not always the case in schools. So well done, us. And then the last thing is that there have been a lot of professional development trainings that many of our staff have been taking part in. And I'm just grateful that we're able to offer it, but more that they're willing to come and really immerse themselves. We had DFME, designing meetings for equity, DMFE. I think that's what it is.
Designing, facilitating meetings for equity.
Thank you, Corinne Baca. I'm like, that's not right. What's it called? And we had our instructional coaches and our department heads and some administrators there. We're going to be doing the same training again. And several of us took this training. It's from National Equity Project last May, I think it was. So it was really, really wonderful to see so many people involved, and just proud of the work that we're doing. That's it.
That's awesome. Lots of good stuff happening. Thank you. Moving on to item C, 15 or 14C. Are there any board subcommittee reports?
No.
All righty. Moving on to 14D, our AFT Local 1481 report. Miss Monica Casey.
Hello.
Hello.
I don't have very much to report. I just want to remind people to look at our website, and especially the announcements page if you're looking for political actions. And we need to continue to stay vigilant and be involved so that we keep our funding and we keep our communities safe and our students. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Item 15 is for information purposes. Moving on to item 16. If the board does not wish to discuss or remove any of these items, I'd like to move to adopt a consent as a whole.
Move to approve consent.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. With the approval of the consent, we do have a hire for the interim director of transportation. And that is Darnell Garcia.
Good evening, everyone. I want to sincerely thank you for the trust and confidence you've placed in me to lead our transportation department. It's a role I approach with great responsibility and commitment. Our primary mission remains clear and unwavering: to ensure that every student is transported to and from school as safely and efficiently as possible. The safety of our student is and always will be our top priority. Thank you.
Thank you. Dana, would you like to say anything about that? Or I don't know. I know that we had talked about it a little bit earlier, but I just don't know if we wanted to speak on that from the, if not, I could open it up to the board.
Well, I'm happy to turn it over to the board. I just want to welcome Darnell to the new role of Interim Transportation Director. Darnell has demonstrated a longstanding commitment to our district, and I'm thrilled to see him in this role.
Thank you. All right, I'd like to open up to the board for comment.
Yeah, Darnell, we're just very excited to have you on board, and you know, and the fact that your team has welcomed you with open arms and are excited to have you guiding the way speaks volumes to the professionalism and the character that you carry with the work you do. So congratulations, and
Thank you.
And we're excited.
Congratulations, Danielle.
Thank you.
I think we already kind of spoke briefly, but your story is truly an inspiration. And without a doubt, I have the utmost confidence that you are the right person. No pressure.
Yeah.
But also just from your speech,
Yes.
you're already exhibiting amazing leadership styles,
Thank you.
which is less is more. Clean, succinct, to the point, right? Like, yes, I'm like, yes, that's it. That's all you need to say, right? Like, perfect. So good luck. And, but I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot of you.
Yes.
In the spirit of less is more, congratulations. It was great to meet you today. I'm glad you brought some of your people with you.
Yes.
And, you know, best of luck. I
Thank
think
you.
you'll be great.
Appreciate it.
All right. Well, Darnell, we did hear a little bit of your story earlier.
Yes.
And I think that's proof that we know that you're an amazing person. You've been through a lot.
Yes.
I think you're ready for this. And, you know, we look forward to seeing what you could do with that department and growing it and making it as good as you can.
Yes.
And, you know, if I was one thing to say real quick, just about meeting you briefly, it's just that, you know, sometimes you get a vibe from somebody, you know, you get that vibe that somebody's a good person. I get that vibe from you. So
Yes. Thank you.
I'm happy about this.
Yes.
And congratulations.
I just want to echo all of that. You are clearly the right person, and you are a good person, and I'm just thrilled. I'm happy and proud that our team saw something in you, and we don't just. That doesn't just happen. Like you've earned that. You have shown yourself to be a leader already in our district, and so I'm just thrilled that you're taking on this that you're willing to take on this new responsibility.
Yes.
And I know you're going to be great.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks, Darnell.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if you guys want to hang out, you can. If you want to
If you don't have to.
end your night early, yeah.
Oh,
There you go. Yeah. All right. Moving on to public comment. Is there any public comment? Seeing that there's no public comment, we'll move on to discussion items. 18A. So we have 18A 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which are all board policies. Ms. Tony Presta is going to be presenting those. Do you want to just?
Yes, thank you. I was not prepared right now with my written stuff, but no, it's okay. Essentially, these are all updates that were recommended from CSBA. And so there's board policies, access to district records, governing board elections, filling vacancies, and oath of affirmation. They're really updated based upon CSBA suggested language.
Thank you. Any board comment?
No, everything's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Okay. 18B, Education Services Board Policy Update, B6141. Ms. Karine Baca.
Thank you, President Gallegos. Good evening, members of the board. So Board Policy 6141 on curriculum development and evaluation is not new. but it was not previously added in our board policy, and this policy is recommended by CSBA. So this policy authorizes the establishment of a curriculum review committee composed primarily of teachers and, as appropriate, administrators, parents, guardians, students, and community members to evaluate and recommend curriculum for board approval. The superintendent or designee shall research available programs, present selected options to the committee, and ensure that recommendations are grounded in effectiveness, alignment with state standards, equity and accessibility for all student groups, cost considerations, implementation needs, and the overall program impact. Also, it says that when prepackaged curriculum does not meet the district needs, the district may adapt or develop curriculum in collaboration with educators and subject matter experts. And all new and modified curriculum must be reviewed by the committee, approved by the board, and may be piloted in limited settings prior to district-wide implementation. So essentially, this has been our practice in the past. It just was not part of our board policy. And this item is for discussion and will come back as a consent item during the next board meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Baga. Are there any questions or comment on this board policy?
No.
Okay. Moving on. We have three more items, board policy items, items 18C1, 2, and 3, and Ms. Dana Lujan will be presenting those.
Thank you. Good evening. Board Policy 4033, Board Policy 4111, along with the other 11s, and Board Policy 4112.9, along with the other 0.129 were all updated with CSBA recommendations. A lot of it had to do with legislative updates from Title IX switching back, the update in California Education Code that we can't discriminate against an employee's use of cannabis outside of work, and it brings us in alignment with recommended practices.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions or comment?
No, everything's pretty straightforward.
Thank you again, everybody, for getting those all updated and up to par. Appreciate that.
May I add that I was happy that Associate Superintendent Beth Swino thanked Miss Chelsea Johnson, because the reason why we look like we are killing it with our board policies is largely due to Chelsea's hard work, because she's greatly supporting all of us. So thank you, Chelsea.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Chelsea,
Amongst
you
all the other
rock.
things that you do.
Yes.
Okay. Moving along. We're at 19A1 action items, salary schedule, revisions for business and instructional support services or employees. Director of Human Resources, Ms. Dana Lujan.
Hello. There are two business and instructional support services salary schedules that are being updated. The update to the Daly City Youth Health Center BIS salary schedule just simply takes the stipends that were listed only in the contract and puts them on the salary schedule. We think this will help employees understand the stipends, because they're kind of deep into the contract. Plus, it will also help with recruitment, because it puts it out there when we are recruiting. With the other BIS salary schedule, previously at a couple, maybe 2 board meetings ago, we clarified that the CTE Assistant, Associate, and Expert, as well as the Prop 28 Assistant, Associate, and Expert, are classified substitutes. And so we removed them from the salary schedule because classified substitutes are paid at step 1 of the range.
Awesome. Thank you for that clarification. Are there any questions?
Move to approve the salary schedule revision for BIS employees.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. All right, 19B1, approval of our unaudited actuals for fiscal year 2024, 2025. Ms. Deputy Superintendent of Business Services, Tina Van Raphorst.
Thank you. Good evening, President Gallegos, members of the board. Before you tonight is our unaudited actuals report submitted for your approval. This report is called Unaudited Actuals because it reflects our actual spending for 24-25 school year, but it has yet to be audited. The audit will be conducted by a third-party audit firm over the next few months. The full year-end report is included in this board packet, but I'll take a few minutes just to go over the executive summary. As you can see, in 24-25, we started the year with about $24.5 million in our general fund. We saw income of about $86 million and spent about $88.5 million over the year. This leaves us with a negative $2.4 million net change and a new ending fund balance of just over $22 million. The chart shows that this was close to what we had budgeted. Our revenue came in slightly higher than budgeted, and our expenditures came in slightly lower than budgeted, which shows our approach to budgeting was on the conservative side, leaving us with a bit more in our ending fund balance than we had projected. Breaking down the components of the ending fund balance, you can see that we have about $6 million in restricted fund carryover, about $1.8 million that are for commitments that follow us into the new fiscal year, and over $14 million in reserves. $7 million of this represents the 8% reserves that we carry based on board policy, and $7.3 million is unassigned, which will help us through the deficit spending that we have budgeted over the next 2 years. So before I move on to the other funds, are there any questions about the general fund?
I have no questions.
Okay. So I don't always spend much time on the other funds as they're generally smaller. They have more restrictions on how the money is spent, but I think this year it's important to go over them. I will start with the funds that are actively managed by the district. So Fund 11 is our adult education fund. This year we made contributions from the general fund to the adult education fund in the amount of over $641,000. About $400,000 of this was due to federal funding shortfalls, and the rest was due to overstaffing. Reductions will be necessary over the next 2 years. Similarly, Fund 13 ran a deficit. There was enough carryover in Fund 13, so a contribution from the general fund was not necessary, but there was a deficit. Fund 13 is our cafeteria fund, and it covers our student brunch and lunch programs. The deficit for 24-25 in this fund was about $560,000. About $300,000 was due to overstaffing. The remainder was us using up our one-time equipment grant funds. When California moved to universal meals, they gave districts extra money to cover the costs of increasing our meal production. But these types of grants have come to an end. Those grants allowed us to increase our staffing to a level that could accommodate the large number of students who had not previously been eating in our cafeterias. But now the number of meals being served at each school has leveled off, and we see room for decreasing staffing to match the funding that's coming in. We're hopeful that the reductions in both of these programs will happen through attrition throughout this school year, but we may need to consider layoffs in the spring for both the adult education program and the food service program.
Just real quickly on the food service, the cafeteria food, we've done such an amazing job kind of bringing that up to speed and getting the food to where the kids like it. And so none of this should affect the quality of our food that the kids are getting or anything like that, right? We're just trying to.
Yeah. So we are looking for efficiencies in, to reduce spending on food and on packaging. So that is something we're going to have to balance our priorities. Right now, what we're doing is just making sure that we're not buying food that's out of season. Okay. We had tried to have avocados all year long. Like now, maybe we only have avocados when they're a little bit less expensive. Same thing with strawberries or watermelon, so we're being really careful about making sure that we're buying the produce that's in season. But there's definitely still a high quality of food in our cafeterias.
Awesome. Thank you.
To follow up, this might not necessarily be related to that, but have you guys noticed any changes with like the tariffs and all that, and how can we do more sourcing within our state to kind of mitigate that, or?
Yeah, that's a
Come.
great question. And we do already, there's a number of different reasons why we try to source locally, because it's better. But also, the federal government, who we get most of the funding from for this program, requires that we buy locally as much as possible. So I have not noticed that yet, but we'll keep an eye out.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to Fund 17. Fund 17, the rest of these are more just like bringing you up to speed and making sure you know what's going on. Fund 17 is our special reserve fund. It has an ending balance of 1.2 million. The board policy that we adopted on reserves specifies that we should have about 2% reserves in the general, or in Fund 17. And right now we have about 1.38%. So this is where each year around first interim, I ask you if we can transfer some money to Fund 17. And so we'll be looking at that at first interim and probably making a recommendation to transfer some funds. This past year, we transferred $300,000 into Fund 17. Fund 21 is our building fund, and it has a very high ending balance of $104 million. This fund is so high because it is going to pay for our Jefferson gym and pool project, which is a very costly project. Fund 25 is our capital facilities fund. The revenue in this fund comes from developer fees from new construction in our area. And the money can be spent on our facilities. And so that's what that fund is for. We generally have not been, we're kind of building that up to make it enough for a project. Fund 63 is our enterprise fund. That's the name of the fund. But what it is technically is our Daly City Youth Health Center and employee housing. So both of those programs are run separately within that fund. The Daly City Youth Health Center had an ending fund balance of $847,000, and our employee housing program has an ending fund balance of about $5 million. And
quick question on
Sure.
on Fund 25.
Yes.
Have we actually I don't ever recall us actually
Not
touching
s-
that fund in years.
Not since I've been here.
Okay. And how much annually are we usually getting to grow that?
It really varies based on the amount of construction going on in the area. I've seen years where it's come in, 800,000, but more, it's usually around 300,000 or 400,000.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then there are a number of funds in the packet that we actually passively manage. They aren't really ones that we have a lot of control over. So just in case you're looking through the whole packet and you see Fund 8 represents our student activities funds. So these are the monies from all of the student bodies combined. Fund 40 is our special reserve fund for capital projects. It's really it was opened to house our COPs when we were working on the Ceremony Del Rey project, and it has very little money left in it. Fund 51 is managed by the county. It's really just our paying back the bonds for the district. So the tax revenue comes in and it goes back out to the bond redemption funds, and we don't really touch it. And then Fund 56 is similar to Fund 40, that it was opened with our COPs, and it is where we transfer funds into to pay out our COP repayments. COP is certificates of participation, and it is how districts borrow money. So in conclusion, we have some uncertainty. For a community-funded district, our most uncertain factor is our tax revenue. We don't know how much the tax revenue will come in as and how much higher it will be than the previous year. So from 23-24 to 24-25, the end was about 6% higher than the previous year. The tax revenue went up by 6%. In comparison, this the roll tracker, what the county puts out for an estimate back in November of 2024, projected that our tax revenue increase would be 2.6%. So every year the county kind of underestimates, and then they adjust it throughout the year. And then at the end, it is what it is. So for this coming year, right now, the roll tracker says 2.8%, and we have used 5% in our budgeting. So I think that we're pretty much on track with our conservative budgeting to have a similar year in tax revenue increases. As I mentioned, staffing reduction will be necessary for the adult education and food service programs. And this report serves as the official year-end close. And once you approve it, it will go to the County Office of Education. And then once they review it, they will send it on to the Department of Education. And the next time you will hear from me about the budget will be in December, when we look at how this year has started off, and we'll have our first interim report. Any questions?
No, but thank you very much for that. You keep finding really awesome ways to make this really easy to understand. And it's not easy to understand. So I appreciate that, because it's just kind of, nuts and bolts, and it's kind of what we need to see, really. I mean, big picture stuff is good too, but I appreciate you doing all that hard work for that. Thank you.
And like you said, I think you're finding new ways, because I'm not getting any smarter, and this is getting much clearer. So thank you.
It's the other way around. Yeah, I echo that. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions?
No. Move to approve the unaudited actuals for fiscal year 24-25.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Tina. All right, moving on to 19B2, approval of resolution 2025-2026/2, adopting the GAN limit. Back to you, Ms. Tina Van Raphorst.
Thank you. Each year, publicly funded agencies are required to review their appropriations limit and set forth in legislation known as the GAN Initiative or the GAN limit. The proposed resolution is put forward to formally adopt our appropriations limit per this regulation for the 24-25 and 25-26 school years.
Can you put that in layman's terms for me? Layman's terms, please? Because I don't get that.
It's the government requires that we talk about how much to be honest, it's a little complicated to me as well.
It's a mouthful, yeah.
Because sometimes the GAN limit goes up and sometimes it goes down.
Okay.
But county and statewide, it remains the same. So as some government agencies increase funding, others decrease funding.
Okay.
So is this,
I'll look into that. I will look into that.
It's a hard one. Yeah.
so is this essentially like projections in a way, or?
Is it projections?
Let me pull up the
Constitutional amendment
document that goes with this
places
and see
limits
if
on the
that
growth
helps
of
explain
expenditures.
it. There's a document that
Mhm.
goes with it.
It's the growth of expenditures.
That's what I was reading, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's constitutional. Publicly funded program.
I used to know this better, to be honest. I'm just blanking on it tonight.
Okay.
The calculations that are attached. Where did those attached calculations go? Right, and it dates back to the 70s.
Yes, dates back to the 70s. Jarvis.
1979.
Yeah.
So we have an AI overview I could read.
Trying to protect the voters from too much spending.
Spending levels adjusted annually to change the population per capita.
And if we're reading the resolution, we're basically saying we're going to be increasing 1.35 million from last year is the upshot, right? That's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line, is
Okay.
that the adjustments to our limit will be $1.3 million.
Got it.
And we are the ones making this adjustment? Okay.
Right.
Based on the calculations that are attached to this
Right.
document.
Got it.
Move to approve the approval of resolution 2526/2, adopting the GAN limit.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Are there any considerations of future agenda items? If not,
Move to adjourn.
adjourn. Yeah.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.